What's up? YouTube. It's another, I got something right there in my teeth. Yeah. Love it. It's what, that's life. Well, welcome to, if this is your first time seeing a night dive here. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, no, hey, I'm Jetthro. I'm just trying to see if I can get this thing working right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, cool. Seems like it's working. I am Jetthro. I'm doing a night dive challenge. I call them night dives. Essentially, I'm journaling or I'm documenting my life, my day, just trying to get what's floating up in my brain, all the thoughts, all the things. I'm just trying to get that out of my brain and into a space and a medium where just, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. I've put this challenge upon myself. It's just holding me accountable to do this because, I feel like otherwise I just wouldn't do something like this. So it's really helpful for me. Yeah, I'm on day 34. It's day 34. If you have seen a few of these, and you're back again, you may notice that the lighting and the setup is a little different. Changing the room up a little bit. It feels good. It feels good to change some stuff up, but I couldn't quite finish with what I wanted to, so this is it. And this is fun. I may get some LED lights or something kind of cool to get like in the background once I clear this up a bit, and maybe hang something on this wall too back here. I don't know. We'll see. I got other priorities than that. It's not really a pressing thing for me. This, like the documenting and getting the thoughts out of my head and just work through a lot of stuff is much more important to me than how this kind of looks. So I don't know. I don't really care, but but yeah, day 34. Let me turn my microphone down just a little bit. Yeah. It has not been 34 consecutive days. I did miss a few days because I left on vacation, but it is what it is. I'm still here. I'm still showing up. I've found recently that I'm getting really tired of doing this. And I just, at night I just feel like man, I just have other shit I got to do. And so I'm really glad I have this challenge in for myself so that I, again, hold myself accountable. So that's really nice. But gosh, I just really don't want to be here doing this the last couple of nights. So anyway, I'm going to jump into my format here. So typically I will do a quick moment of gratitude. After that, I have a little bit of a mantra I kind of say, and then I'll kind of dive into my day. And the day, all I've been thinking about is my new job and just the mentality that I have to cultivate to be successful at it. And so I just want to expand on that. But first, let me check what's good here. Anybody in the chat? It is Saturday night, so I don't blame you if no one's watching. Yeah. Okay. yeah, so let's dive into this here. So quick gratitude. Gratitude. I don't really know, I guess. I'm always grateful for the basic necessities, or the foundations of my life. Running water, my God, having that's so nice. I'm grateful to kind of myself right now for my willingness to put myself outside of my comfort zone and just push myself into it and just say, fuck it, dude. You gotta take a leap. You gotta go. And the willingness to act upon that. I want to talk about this. In my actual dive. I'm just grateful to kind of where I'm at in life right now. Some of it is pretty shitty, but it's just kind of life. It's suffering. Life is suffering. So I'm just grateful to be where I'm at. I'm also grateful to my parents too, real quick. I was just thinking about them, and I've kept a pretty close relationship with them for the most part, and I'm real grateful to have that connection with them, because there's a lot of families that don't have that, and I still have both my parents, so I'm just grateful to them. My mantra, I'm gonna shift into the mantra real quick. What I'm doing is difficult. What I'm doing is hard. This is, I'm putting myself into, this is one example, but I'm putting myself into a situation and into situations that I am going to be uncomfortable with. Definitely to start. I'm going to suck at this job to start. But I'm determined. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to fucking figure it out. But it is difficult just in general. To show up every single day. It really is. Even like I was saying, like this, it's just hard to a lot of times find any amount of desire. Like a lot of times it's the opposite. Like even tonight, this has been the opposite of any desire. It's been like, I don't want to do this. And so, feeling that, understanding that thought, and then putting it aside and saying, I know you don't want to do this, but you gotta fucking do it. You gotta show up, dude. Is difficult. It's hard. Okay, that's kind of it. I like to have that moment to recognize that what I'm doing is difficult. I like to have that moment to give it the respect and the breath that it needs. So let's dive in to the dive now. Let's take the next 10 minutes or so and talk about some of that stuff. I want to expand real quick on that before I lose it on what I was saying earlier. I am putting myself into just I'm going into people's homes and being like, look, you're paying a lot of money to the electric company. Stop doing that. You don't need to do that anymore. And then saying like, here's an agreement to put solar on your roof. You should do it because it is just cheaper than what you're doing now, and it's gonna be cheaper. And it doesn't terrify me, but it's scary. It's kind of scary. It gives me anxiety. There is some excitement in there too, yeah, but it's mostly anxiety. It's just out of my comfort zone. because I've been doing sales at a lower level of sales for a long time. And, you know, I have experience actually closing deals. I have done that. I've knocked on doors and then gone and set appointments and then gone back with someone and closed deals with them in the home. I've had actually a lot of good times doing that. But for the most part, I've been just I've closed a lot of other deals just virtually, like over Zoom, or even there was one that I was just actually two that I was just on the phone with them the whole time. And so I can do that. I can do that. But I'm going to talk this through right now. Is just now realized that all of that was done either virtually, over the phone, or with someone else. I've never gone into... I have one time gone into someone's home. They were expecting a solar expert, technician, consultant, whatever. They were expecting me, and I showed up by myself. And I did the whole thing, and it was fine. Actually, no, I did it twice. I've done it twice. I just remembered another one. But I don't know. I did both of those and just didn't think about it, and I just showed up, and I just said I'm just going to talk and see what happens. But now I know exactly what needs to be done. I just know what I have to do now. And I know I'm just going to have to butt heads with people. Not all the time, but there's definitely going to be sometimes. And I know I'm going to have to be thrown out of some people's homes. I'm going to have to kind of be a guy that I've, for a long time, kind of despised, almost. That aggressive, like, pushy salesman. I'm going to have to be that in, not every case, but some cases. And probably a lot of cases. And, it just makes it, that feeling or that thought, the thought of that makes me uncomfortable. It makes me a little anxious, a little, like, almost like I'm, like, selling my soul in a way, like I'm giving up part of who I am to become this. Because again, I'm gonna have to be pretty aggressive, and that's just not in my nature. For the most part, I mean, it is. I can be assertive. I can definitely turn it on and be aggressive and assertive. I can do that, but it's not what I do naturally. And so, thinking about it like that, it just is like, I don't know. It's kind of, there, I wonder if there's a way I can show this scene. I doubt it. I don't know how to do it through where I'm streaming through, but there's a scene in the Bourne movies. I don't know if you guys remember that, like the Jason Bourne movies. But from like the third one is the one I'm talking about, and it like has a flashback to when he first like approached this FBI, CIA or whatever, and was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to save American lives. Like it did a flashback to that like first introduction of him and him becoming a spy and like an assassin. And the scene, like I've been comparing myself to the, like, I've been not comparing myself, but I've been like thinking like this is what I have to do in a way in order to advance forward. But what happens is he's in this room with the director, or the person running the assassin agency or whatever. He's in a room. It's like a it's like a surgeon room. It's like where someone would get surgery almost. It looks like that. It's kind of like white and like, there's like like kind of dentistry kind of lights. It feels like one of those kind of rooms. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But essentially Jason Bourne is like, he has to kill someone. And you don't see the dude's face. You don't see, like, he's not talking. He's just sitting in a corner. And he's tied up. And he's got a bag over his head. And he's sitting there in the chair. And Jason has his gun. He's like, but, like, what did he do? And the director's like, doesn't matter. And Jason Bourne's like, but, like, what's his name? It's like, we've been over this. It doesn't matter. And the director's like, look, man, you came to us. You volunteered, and you said you would do whatever it takes to save American lives. And essentially, I'm asking you to kill this guy, and you can't know anything about him. Is essentially like, you just have to follow orders. And you just, and the order is you have to kill this guy. And he's like, he is struggling with himself. You can see him like, fuck, I gotta kill this guy. I don't know anything about this guy. He may have a family, he may not. He may have done nothing wrong. He may be the most, hated terrorist on the planet. I don't know. Fuck, I just have to kill this guy. Fuck, I don't know what to do. And then he just like shuts his brain down, or shuts that part of his brain off. He stands up and he just shoots him. It's like, fuck. Like, oh my God. Like, oh. It is a really like powerful scene. And I've been thinking about it all day, because there's another line that the director says. He's like, before he kills him, he's like, are you willing to commit to this program? And that's when he essentially stands up and from the chair and shoots the guy. But that's like where I'm kind of at. So let me loop that story all the way back through, because I'm envisioning myself in a similar kind of way, where I'm kind of like Jason Bourne in the sense that I'm like still kind of struggling with myself. I'm still kind of like, God, I'm going to have to be that guy in order to be successful at this job. I think I'm confident I am. In fact, I know I am. I've been texting with one of the guys I'll be training with, and I asked him some questions, and he's like, yeah, we just do one sit closes. And like, we had a guy just the other day, and this is somewhat standard, but he was in the house for about 7 hours, and they didn't throw him out. And then they ended up signing, and they got a security system, so that's an additional commission. And just the thought of being in someone's house 6-7 hours, or longer. I've heard of stories of people being in there 8-9 hours in a house, and that kind of thought makes me exhausted. It makes me, even the thought kind of terrifies me. But see, that's what I'm battling with. And I know that, like, if I'm going to be successful in this role, I can't give up. Like, they have to tell me to get out of their house, or I'm just going to keep going. And that's what I have to become. And that is what I have to be, that aggressive person. I have to be that, like, pushy salesman and just, like, hash through objections with these people. And, you know, I hate that. I kind of hate that. But I know that, like, to become successful at this job, I just have to be willing to commit to the program. I just have to be willing to accept that is the job. That's part of the job. It's not going to be every house or every person, but that's part of the job. And I'm just going to have to fucking stand up for my chair and shoot some people. No, yeah, that's kind of where my mind has been. It's kind of been replaying that scene. I watched it a couple times, and it's just kind of been like replaying that scene in my head. Like, dude, I have to be willing to commit 100%. Whatever I'm taught by these guys, I just have to trust them. I have to trust that what they know or what they say is the way I should say it. And how they do things is how they're successful. They're clearly successful. They probably, they've told me a lot of their numbers, and they probably fudge some of them. They probably, I mean, every single company will do that. But, you know, even if they don't, even if they're not, they are a growing company. I can see that. And they have a lot of good reviews on BBB. They have a lot of good reviews on Google, you know, Facebook, all those kind of things. So, you know, I got to take a chance. I got to take a leap. There is not a better time than right now for me. There's not a better time than right now for me to try this. And, you know, I just got to commit. I guess I should say, like, the reason, let me go even further, because the reason I want to do this is because legitimately these guys are making like $40,000 a month or more, like a month, and that's not an exaggeration. It's probably not. It's not that in the winter for sure, but like come March, April, May, like from probably March until October, November, these guys are probably, like, the good guys, like the good sellers are probably getting between $30,000 and $50,000 each month. And so, you know, that's hard to say no to. That's hard to not be like, you know, I gotta at least try. You know, I keep looking around at my life and I keep saying, like, man, if I just had more money, then I could do this with my wife, and I could do this for my daughter, and, you know, we could do so many other things. We can do all these vacations, or we can, you know, get all the stuff that we need to get. And we, you know, we don't have to be taking the next 10 years just trying to scrape by and, like, hope we get some savings. Like, I won't have to do that. You know, if I fully commit to this and learn how to sell. Here's a tangent. I know how to sell solar. I know how to sell the idea of solar. I don't know how to sell. So that's really what I want to learn. But if I fully commit to this and get good at this. Solar's not going anywhere. Residential solar and the commissions that these guys are making, it'll start dipping over the next 5-10 years, I think, for sure. But this is the gold rush of our generation. It genuinely is. It's just like there's so much money in selling solar, and everyone is starting to wake up to the idea of solar. I've been in solar for I'm pushing 6 years, and I feel like when I first started, it was like my mentality was like, man, a lot of people know about solar. Because everyone that I was talking to, they just knew about the panels, and that's all I knew. So I was like, everybody knows about solar because this is, what I know. And then as I started to learn more and more about it, I was like, nobody knows solar. Nobody knows about solar. Even to this day, it's confusing. There's a lot of parts. There's a lot of things that happen in it. And so when I was setting appointments, people were calling in about and wanting a specific quote from us. Even those guys, only 10% were like, yeah, I want to get a quote from you guys, but I want to know about your production guarantee. And that's not a lot of people. That's just not a lot of people who know that that's really important in a solar system. So what I'm saying is in the next 5 or 10 years, people are only going to start. It's going to take 10 years at least for people to start realizing oh, this is actually what solar is about. This is how it works. And so it's my job to educate them right now and get them to understand what it does and how it works and what it can do for them financially and environmentally, of course, but financially for sure. And yeah, it's a gold rush because it's my job to do that. But even over the next 5 or 10 years, people are still not going to know. There's not solar on every single house. There's not. So everyone is gonna, at some point, it's gonna be on everyone's house. At some point, at least close to it, because it just makes financial sense. So as long as there are houses without solar on it, closing is going to be really lucrative. That's what I'm trying to say right there. That line right there is what I'm trying to get to. As long as there's no solar, as long as there's solar, as long as there are roofs with no solar, closing is going to be a lucrative position. So another loop all the way back in, if I take the next 5 or 10 years to really hone in on this skill, on this job, and figure it out right now, I mean, if I'm making $30,000 a month for 8 months out of the year, 9 months out of the year, we can retire in 10 years. We don't have to worry about anything financially. And I'll have a skill that I could do anything. Selling high-ticket, high-pressure items in someone else's home where you're a stranger, that is transferable. It's transferable, I think is the word I'm looking for. So anyway, oh my God, I've been talking half an hour. Ugh. This is what happens. I end up not wanting to do these, and then I talk for half an hour. So see if anyone's here. Is anyone here? Yeah, no. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna ramble for a second again. I don't know how to tie this in, but like let me circle back again because there's a feeling I want to kind of rehash. I feel grateful that I'm putting myself into this uncomfortable position. I'm grateful that I recognize what the job is and what it entails and how much the pros are, the income is, the money is, and that I'm willing to put myself in a situation that can do all those things for me financially and, whatever else. I'm grateful that I'm willing to put myself in those uncomfortable positions or situations so that I can have the other things that I want. Because, there are so many people who, even if they have the means to do things like this, they don't want to try it. I know that. I know it. I know that, they have the means to put themselves out there or, do something uncomfortable, but they it's scary. It's scary. And I'm scared. And I'm just grateful. I really am grateful to myself. Fuck, dude. I'm really man. I could be fucking sitting on my couch right now, scrolling through Reddit and wondering what the fuck is happening with my life. I can have that internal, feeling, that unsettled feeling. I could still have that. I could easily still have that. That was just in March this year. That was 5 months ago. 5.5 months ago. I'm coming up on 6 months. 6 months ago, I was laying on my couch, just scrolling through Reddit, wasting my life away. Hours and hours of it. Ugh. Okay, I think I'm done. I'm going to go to bed. If you're still around, if you're watching this at all, in the future or now or whatever, this one's a long one, but thanks for sticking with me. We're going to see about my setup here. We're going to see what kind of happens over the next couple of days. I got to go through all this shit. But, I mean, I know you can't see this side of the room, but this is so much cleaner and more organized. Oh, it's amazing. So, we'll see. But, I'm going to go to bed. Much love to you guys, for real. Be safe. Man, just be safe. Be safe doing whatever you're doing. Give your kids or parents or siblings or spouses or fucking whatever, give them a hug. Text them. Talk to them. Reach out to a friend. Text someone you've been thinking about. I don't fucking know. Make a connection with someone. I don't know. You'll regret it if you don't. If you needed a sign, this is it. So, good night. I love you guys. Namaste.